Please adhere to YouTube selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be drinking beer in a Japanese public park at almost 8 p.m. in the evening. Why exactly am I doing this today? Well, the reason is quite simple. It's because I want to have a beer, and I want to have it outside in a public park, and it just so happens that I am currently in Japan. Am I looking forward to having a little bit of alcohol in just a few minutes once I get to the public park? I gotta admit, I certainly am. Now, the public park I'm going to is very much that of a neighborhood park, I will acknowledge. And from my memory, at least, to get there, I have to go this way and then take a left, I want to say. Now, I figure some of y'all may be curious to know what alcohol I have with me today, and the alcohol I've got with me today is the Kirin no Dogoshi, which is a beer, but not really a beer. It's a, if I'm remembering correctly, soy protein alcoholic beverage that's flavored with hops, which is the same thing that beer is flavored with. So it's basically a beer, but not really a beer. It's very interesting, I will acknowledge, but I think I need to take a left up here at this intersection, I will acknowledge, and once I cross over, I think I've got to take another left, and I should be at the park I want to be at. Hopefully, my memory is serving me correctly. I've never walked this way. I just quickly looked at the map to figure out how to get to the public park right before I started this video. We're gonna find out if my memory served me correctly, but here's a 7-Eleven. Here's a York Mart. Never heard of York Mart before, I'll acknowledge, but must be some sort of grocery store, I'm figuring. But there's a train crossing up here. Let's see if we can get over this, no issue. The park I'm going to as well, it's right next to the train track. So, if there's no shrubbery, we should be able to find, hopefully, a good view of the trains passing by. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I hope so, and there's a train going by right now. No complaints on my behalf, let me tell y'all what. I think that was the, no, I think there's one more train going by. I don't know what train line that was, in all honesty. I'm not exactly sure. It had an orange line down the side. I believe, though, we're supposed to take a left here. So let's do just that. And the park should be right down just where the road curves, I believe. That should be the start of the park, at least. But yeah, the park I'm going to is very much that of a neighborhood park. I've drank a bev at this park before, I will acknowledge, but it's been a week or two. And, you know, I will acknowledge, I like the park a little bit more so than not, so gotta revisit it. Gotta enjoy drinking in public parks in Japan while I have the opportunity to do so, because, well, I'm not gonna have the opportunity to do so forever. After all, I'm not a resident of Japan. But here we are at the entrance of the park. I can either go this way, or I can continue down the road just a little bit, which is actually what I'm going to do because there's more light this way. And I don't know how good or how bad the lighting in the park is going to be. I've only ever been to this park in the daytime. So will there be any lights in the park? I'm going to try to sit under one if there is one, and it looks like there is, but I don't know exactly where it is. Let's find out, though, if we can sit under or near a light and not near any other people, because I don't want to bother anybody with my talking. And y'all will notice I'm not talking particularly loudly right now, and that's because I'm now in the park and I don't want to bother any of the homes around, I will acknowledge, but looks like we've got a pretty solid spot right here. I do think there's also a bench over there that has a table, which would be appreciated. Is that kind of wet, though? I am thinking it is, and there's a train going by. I don't think we can really see it very well, though, I will acknowledge, but pretty cool to sit at a park next to a train line nonetheless. Just stepped in a puddle. This is pretty wet. This bench is pretty wet, so I'm gonna instead go to where there is some better lighting, and I think I'm gonna. Is this wet too? That is very wet. That is very wet. I think we might be standing for this video today. I will acknowledge, ain't no biggie at all. But let's go ahead. Is this wet? This is not really wet. This is like concrete right here. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna take off my backpack because my bev is in my backpack, and I am going to just go like that, and I'm gonna get my bev out. Now, I don't just have a bev with me today, I will acknowledge. I also have a singular onigiri from Family Mart, which is where I bought my Kirin no Dogoshi quote-unquote beer. But yeah, got an onigiri to eat. I am feeling a little bit hungry, I will acknowledge, and personally, I'm not one to drink on an empty stomach, so I'm thinking once I go ahead and get my beer all opened up, I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open as well, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to eating and drinking just a little bit more so than not. This ain't my dinner tonight. I am gonna be having, I think, some Johnsonville, like Italian sausage or something like that kind of thing. I think I found some of that at the grocery store. As long as it's still good, I'm gonna be having that, but I'm feeling a little bit out of it. I'm feeling like I need a bev, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this all cracked open. Ooh. Might have been a bit more fizzy than I realized. Maybe I was jostling it around a little bit more so than I thought. But let's get it cracked open the rest of the way. Just like that. And get all that off of my hand. And now without further ado, let's go ahead and take my first sip of my alcoholic beverage, my quote-unquote beer, and let's go ahead and get to, well, drinking a quote-unquote beer in a Japanese public park at 7:54, almost 8 p.m. in the evening. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying. And that is all right. It's nothing too crazy by any means, I will acknowledge. Taste-wise, very mild. Tastes okay. Tastes like cheap beer. And that's pretty much exactly what it is, because the Kirin no Dogoshi was designed to be a very cheap beer that actually uses a tax bracket where they get taxed less the less malt content there is. And the reason why I can drink the Kirin no Dogoshi is because there's actually no malt in it at all, because they just said, oh wow, well, instead of going for low malt content, we'll just go for no malt content. And so they made it out as like soy protein instead or something like that, which is pretty amusing, I will acknowledge. But overall, it's cheap beer. Tastes like a cheap beer, I imagine. I've never had any other beer other than this, though, I will admit. But, you know, I'm going to take another sip. It's pretty quiet here, though. Pretty nice. Lighting's all right. It's all right. You know, I'll take it. As long as it gives me a buzz and doesn't taste bad, I got no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? But we can see this park pretty solid. Got a nice light up there. Got like what used to be a tennis court, but is definitely now closed. I will acknowledge, don't know what this sign says, but no tennis, no baseball is what the impression I'm getting is based off that image right there. But you know, I'm feeling a little bit hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and get to eating my onigiri I've got with me today. So let's do exactly that after I roll up my sleeves, because it is a bit hot and humid, I will acknowledge. It has been pretty much off and on raining just about all day, I want to acknowledge. And while thankfully it's not raining anymore, it is now not only warm, but also very humid due to the rain. So needed to roll up the sleeves on my long sleeve shirt just a little bit, I will admit. Let's go and get to eating though, I'm a bit hungry. And of course, you all know me. Even though there's no trash cans around, I'm not gonna litter, so I'm gonna go and put the trash in my backpack real quick. And now that I have done that, without further ado, let's go and take my first bite of my salmon onigiri from Family Mart, and let's see how it is. Overall, gotta admit, it's okay. Not too bad by any means. Could use some more salt. Although I'm thinking I may get more into the salty portion once I hit the salmon. But it's doing its job. It's getting some food in my system. Might not be the greatest thing in the world, but certainly don't taste bad. And it's exactly what I needed right now. Yeah, once I actually hit the salmon, there's definitely a lot more salt. Like, the rice itself is not salted, but the salmon is, and that's good. I like that. Delicious. Honestly, I could go for a second one, because as good as this is, and as much as it is low-key kind of filling me up, it's not filling me up enough. I need more food. But that's what my beer's for now, isn't it? Beers have calories in them, and so does food, so can't beer be used as a food? Beer as a food is what I'm trying to say, not medical advice. But what I can say is that I definitely need some liquid to wash down that salmon and rice and seaweed. Definitely need some, so let's take another sip of my beer. Ooh, and that did do a good job of washing down my bev. Although, I will acknowledge, the more I drink this bev, the more it just tastes like cheap alcohol, which is exactly what it is. Like, it tasted like surprisingly solid when I took my first sip, but now it really is tasting like cheap alcohol. It really is tasting like cheap beer. But I'm like, hey, that's what it is, and didn't cost me too much. I think it was 160 yen, something like that. So I think like $1, $10, $20 USD, not bad. Can't complain, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, pretty much just chilling. About, I want to say, halfway through my alcohol as of this point in time. Probably a little bit more than halfway, but yeah, beautiful park to be hanging out in at night, I will acknowledge. And you know, I'm thinking I need a little bit of a thumbnail for the video, so let's see if I can go ahead and grab one of those real quick. Just gonna put my camera down on my backpack and try to grab a thumbnail with my phone. Let's see if I can manage it. Excuse me. Excuse me. A little bit of a burp, I will acknowledge. No complaints on my behalf, though. Let's go ahead and grab a screenshot for this video. Fix my chain, though. Riding up on my neck just a little bit. Well, there we go, y'all. Hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot for the video. Condensation on my hand quite a bit, but ain't no biggie. Just gotta take another sip and keep on going, you know what I'm saying? I will acknowledge most of the time, though, when I'm day drinking in a public park, whether it be in the United States, in Japan, in Mexico, in Canada, doesn't matter. No matter where I am, day drinking in a public park, most of the time, I prefer having a sit down, I will acknowledge. But today, I'm honestly enjoying standing up, and I think that's because in front of me, there is a table and stuff like that kind of thing, so I'm not really worried about needing to sit down to like put my drink down and stuff like that, because most of the time if I want to like stand up and have a drink, if I want to put my drink down, I've got to like go all the way down here, grab my drink, put it back down and stuff like that kind of thing. And I don't know, I just don't want to lean all the way down every time I want to take a sip of my drink if I put it down. Now I know I could just keep holding my drink, that is one way to get around that, but I don't want to do that. But it's nice, I have a nice table in front of me, no seat but a nice table. Excuse me, you know, I can't complain. And overall, I'd have to say I'm most of the way through my bev. Overall, solid. I'm gonna have to say right now, 3 out of 4 experience. Would be a 4 out of 4 if the seats weren't wet, but there's nothing I or the seats can do about that because, you know, it's been raining and they're outside, and I'm outside right now in a public park, so I can't really complain about that too much, but 3 out of 4 nonetheless. But you win some, you lose some. This is still a much better experience than not, hence why it's getting a 3 out of 4 rating. Rating I'd give this bev in this experience, solid at 2.5 out of 4. Something I would not consider to be the best bev for this scenario, but something that is certainly working, I will acknowledge, and I am feeling a nice light buzz. Nothing too crazy, but a nice light buzz nonetheless. Can't complain, you know what I'm saying? I think after this, I'm going to go back to my Airbnb, and I am going to pour up a shot of liquor, and I'm going to try to mix it with some Dr. Pepper. That's my plan. Maybe. I really shouldn't. I actually have stuff I need to do. I actually do have some stuff I need to do. I need to edit some videos and stuff. But, maybe after I'm done editing, I'll have some more alcohol, but for the moment, this is doing the trick. Got a nice buzz going, and gonna have a great rest of my night. What can I say? Let's go and finish off my bev. Excuse me. No complaints on my behalf. None at all. Yes, sir. Yeah, it really does taste like cheap beer, especially at the bottom. But I mean, like, hey, I bought cheap beer. I wasn't expecting it to taste amazing, and it tastes like cheap beer. That's exactly what it tastes like. That was all I had to my drink, I will acknowledge. And I think that's all I had to say just about for the video. I'm going to go and put the can in my backpack. I haven't seen a trash can at this location. Actually, on the way back to my Airbnb, there is a trash can. And honestly, my Airbnb is not that far, so you know what? I'm actually not put it in my backpack, and I'm gonna just carry it. But big baller moves, you know what I'm saying? Big baller moves. Excuse me. I don't know if y'all heard that because of the train going by, but that was a pretty large burp, and that was very satisfying for me to have done, I will acknowledge. No complaints on my behalf. But just looking at where I was standing, not missing anything, no trash on the table at all, cannot complain, you know what I'm saying? Cannot complain. I do think without further ado, it's time for me to end the video. Have I accomplished my goal to drink beer in a Japanese public park at, well, taking a look at the time, it's now 8:07, so at nearly and 8 p.m. in the evening, did I drink a Japanese beer at a park in Japan, at a public park in Japan, at 8 p.m. in the evening? I'd have to say I did. No complaints on my behalf. What can I say? I accomplished the goal of my video. I accomplished the goal of this video, to say what I wanted to say correctly, and I had a good time doing it. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have, like, subscribe, check out everything in the description down below, and to the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?